Geopolitical trends, consolidation points, prospects of the contemporary realities are strategically important to have an atmosphere of peace in the region. All these topics are focused in Central Asia program.
And coming right up, headlines from Central Asia. In March of 2017, Turkmenistan is planning to commission the Garlik ore mining and processing plant for the production of potassium fertilizer. Its construction has been ongoing for more than 8 years and has finally reached its final stage. A company from Belarus is the one realizing this project, the cost of which is estimated at $1 billion. The plant is said to produce more than 1.4 million fertilizers per year. The ready products are destined for the demand of the domestic market and also for export. Turkmenistan's largest potassium deposit field, Garlik, will provide the raw material base. In Uzbekistan, another free economic zone will be created. The new zone will be established in the Urgut district of the Samarkand region. At the moment, there is already an industrial zone there, where 40 enterprises that produce carpets, synthetic fiber, and household electric appliances are residing. Next year, on the territory of the Free Economic Zone, it is planned to realize another 78 projects on the production of industrial products and create more than 3,000 workplaces. I would add that at the moment, Uzbekistan already has 3 economic zones with preferential conditions for business activities. These are Navoy, Angren, and Jizak. In Tajikistan's capital, Dushanbe, all the mosques will be equipped with metal detectors and video surveillance cameras. The directive was already given by the city's mayor, Mahmad Said Ubaidullayev. These measures are motivated by security concerns. Tajikistan's Committee on Religious Affairs also advised the implementation of these measures. The images collected by the surveillance cameras will be sent to the central mosque of Dushanbe and analyzed also by the clergy. It is expected that this will aid in preventing the expansion of radical teachings in religious institutions, and stationary and manual metal detectors will help maintain social order. To resolve problems through concerted efforts is much easier in any sphere. And for issues concerning the ecology and environmental protection, at times this is the only way. And this became the main slogan for the leadership program that was held at the Regional Environmental Center for Central Asia. Our correspondent attended the main lectures and seminars and found out how the future professionals in the sphere of ecology are being prepared. An interactive warm-up. With its help, the young ecology specialists are taught how to think outside the box and work as a team. This is part of the Environmental Protection Leadership Program. And this is the 7th time that the Regional Environmental Center for Central Asia is organizing it. On the count of 1, 2, 3, line up quickly according to height. Let's go. 1, 2, 3. Hurry up. Quick and coherent actions. This is what the current environmental situation in countries of Central Asia needs. According to experts, the region is heavily affected by the global climate change. It is better to handle its consequences through concerted efforts. That is why all the countries of Central Asia, along with Afghanistan, took part in the leadership program.
Central Asia is a region that doesn't have a lot of forest, or almost no forest, so most of the water resources come from glaciers, and the glaciers through climate change are likely to shrink, so there will be less water resources available for the region.
There is less water but more people. Over a period of 50 years, the population of Central Asia increased by 2.5 times, from 25 million to 67 million people, and the growth trend continues. That is why sustainable development is the only true path for our region. The use of resources, investments, scientific and technological growth and development should be all agreed upon. But unfortunately, this usually happens only on paper.
In all 5
countries of Central Asia and even in Afghanistan, there are environmental laws, which are in clear compliance with international standards. But at the same time, the environmental situation is barely changing. It requires social consciousness, social actions, and actions from each one of us. This is precisely the task of young leaders. To find a solution to the problem, choose a course of action, and explain to each their vision. Charisma and ability to convince are the key skills.
Лидер – это тот человек, который хочет что-то изменить.
A leader is a person who wants to change something. Today there are very many issues, and precisely the youth, especially in our developing world, sees some problems and some shortcomings, and possibly wants to do something about them. At the same time, the actions of leaders of various countries and regions need to be concerted, because many environmental problems are either regional or global, and it is simply impossible to solve them acting individually. That is why one of the main tasks of the leadership program is to get young environmental specialists of Central Asia together and help them establish a dialogue. Animals travel across borders, so do birds. Therefore, even if you're protecting on one side of the border, on the other side they'll be subject to extinction. Therefore, you will not be able to protect a certain type or species of birds, animals, and etc. This is the first year when the leadership program organized 2 modules running at the same time. The first is for ecologists, water and energy specialists, and teachers. The second for parliamentarians. Over the course of both modules, young specialists listen to lectures on sustainable development and right to water access. But the most important is they discuss international cooperation and resolution of transborder conflicts on the regional and local levels. Social change instead of ticket box scores. Socially important films are reaching a new level in Kazakhstan. It is still too early to speak of an entire industry, but there are already first successful precedents. My colleague from the Almaty office watched the most discussed films, spoke about them with their creators, and found out why, even during the International Film Festival Eurasia, these works were allotted a separate session. When Tahir came for the first time for a rehearsal at the Ardi Rehabilitation Center, he understood right away that he wants to be an actor and wants to perform on the stage or play in movies. Neither cerebral paralysis nor stuttering were going to stop him. Ah, how paltry, how trifling the waste is. Trifling losses are plenty around. Having had faith in God is shameful. Having no faith is painful now. Tahir usually leaves his wheelchair here at the center, and at home he uses walking aids, crutches, or walks on his own. But this was not always the case. All this is thanks to therapeutic exercises, massage, and of course sports, which Tahir has been actively engaged in since childhood. This is the source of his resolute character and perseverance. Some people say that if a person has cerebral paralysis, then they cannot really do anything. I think that this is complete nonsense, and I'm going to prove them. We met Tahir at the Eurasia Film Festival during the Socially Important Films Roundtable. Here, a trailer of the movie To Be or Not to Be was screened, a film in which Tahir plays the main part.
Быть или не быть? Вот в чем вопрос.
The film tells a story of a person with cerebral paralysis, and its main goal is to show to the world that people like this exist, that they do not ask for pity, and that just live. They experience sadness, joy, love, fight their illness, dream, and realize their dreams.
Появился парень несколько лет назад, молодой, красивый, говорит.
A couple of years ago, a young handsome man showed up in a wheelchair because of cerebral paralysis, and he came up and said that he wants to play in movies, become an actor. He was stuttering a lot, but caught our attention because he had a strong desire and was running all over the place saying that he wants to play in movies.
Было желание, все время бегал, говорил, я хочу сниматься в кино.
And then Tahir told Aziz that he knows the monologue of Hamlet by heart. This inspired the film director. Soon Azizjan Zairov and Muhammad Mamirbekov wrote the first script for a full feature film.
Что благороднее духом покоряться, прыщам и стрелам яростной судьбы. Или волчость на море смут, сразить их противоборство.
Socially important films work. The experience of Aruzhan Sayin and director Jana Balakayeva proved this. Documentary movies about children's cardiac surgeries radically changed the situation in Kazakhstan. 2 years after the movie was released, a center for children's cardiac surgery opened up in Almaty. If we can film something that would help people to see something from a different perspective, to decide to do something about it, then in either case, feature films, documentaries, all will be socially important. The creators of To Be or Not To Be are also counting on a definite social effect. They believe that their film will help bring down the barrier that exists between the general population and people with special needs. For example, when I go to the store, people look at me as if I'm from another planet, but I no longer pay attention to this. I go my way, they go theirs. That's how it is. An important decision was made during the roundtable of the Eurasia Film Festival to organize such events on a regular basis and to seek means for promoting socially important films out into the masses. Television broadcasts, cinema screenings, inclusion into the school program. This has to include all of this, and films initially intended for a small audience can soon be seen by a wide audience. More colors for the city landscapes. This is what the participants of a wide-scale street art project decided, and now, thanks to their skillful hands, trendy murals appeared on the city facades of Almaty. In our next story, we present to you the most interesting works of street art and a video preview from the streets of Kazakhstan's southern metropolis. Zakir is painting the wall of one of the residential houses in the center of Almaty. And this is not underground graffiti, but a new trend in modern art, street art. For already 4 days, centimeter by centimeter, a national ornament with a small surprise is being created on the facade. The first day that we came, we just had the ornament. We started, created an outline, and then decided that it would not be enough. We needed to add something for the effect, and we added a portrait of a young woman. These types of drawings on the facades of high-rise buildings are called murals. The idea to make the city more colorful came from the social fund Children Draw the World and its director, Jibek. The project started out small. Children from an art school started decorating the walls of children's homes, schools, hospitals, and local attraction sites. We decided that this project can take on a larger scale, and we can invite adult artists. Because the facades are of buildings that are 9 or 5 stories high, children of course cannot draw on them. Therefore, we decided to continue this as a separate project, Murals of Almaty, by attracting adult artists. With the support of the mayor's office, it became possible to invite artists from Russia, Ukraine, and Kyrgyzstan. Kazakhstan showcased 7 local artists in the project. Thanks to the international team, 13 art objects appeared in various spots of Almaty, and they were put up not just on homes, but also fences and transformer vaults. Jointly with the regional mayor's office representatives, we personally went to all the districts, chose the buildings that looked nice, and it had to be an open area. We wanted to make sure that this art would be visible from all sides. All the murals are connected by one common theme, the national theme. But every artist interprets it in their own way. That is why the results are so different. The drawing of a young woman with a leopard, or of an astronaut above the poppy field, or of a shanarak and homeless shelter. An artist with the pseudonym DMN went as far as to portray bicyclists on his mural.
Началось с того, что произошел такой случай, что просто увидел человека за границей в форме команды Астаны.
It all started when I saw a person abroad in the uniform of the Astana team and thought that this person is probably from Kazakhstan, so I waved to him. But it turned out that this was a local person there, and I got this pleasant feeling. If you walk around our city, you can find people wearing the Chelsea uniforms or of the Argentina team, and this is considered normal. But when you're abroad and see someone with our uniform, then you think, wow, that's interesting. And it would be good if this was considered normal as well.
С нашей формой людей как-то, что думаешь, надо же. Кажется, нужно сделать так, чтобы это тоже нормальным было.
Participations in the Murals of Almaty project is undoubtedly praiseworthy for the artists, but they are not the only ones who are satisfied with their work. They're also the city's residents. Based on the feedback, the residents of the southern metropolis are ready to fully support the idea of the project and are already suggesting their own locations for new murals. You're watching the Central Asian Report. Until next time on Kazakh TV.